Alright, so now that we've gotten a few goodies in Hyrule Field, we can start heading to the next dungeon. Now, for the next few dungeons, we're actually going to need to find the shattered pieces of the Mirror of Twilight, and the resistance group within Telma's bar can help us find the locations of each of those dungeons. You want to chat with Telma, who asks after Ilya, and then gives you some encouragement. After a moment, she'll tell you about Ashei, whatever, who is heading to the northern mountains to see what is going on up there. She also tells you real quick to go check out the map on the table. You can go chat with the others real quick if you like as well. Shad will talk a bit about a race of sky beings called the Uka, who are closer to the gods than even the Hylians are supposed to be. I'm not sure what this is supposed to mean, if it's supposed to be an appearance, or it's more likely magical ability. I would think that's likely, because the Hylians are supposed to be a very magical race. But we've actually already met one of the Uka in our travels named Uku, and so we met her in the dungeons. Shad says that the sky beings created a capital city that floats in the heavens. That's obviously one of the locations of the Mirror Shards. Say hello to Aru if you desire, who will ask you what transpired within the Arbiter's grounds. Apparently from one sentence to the next, Link told him everything, because then he goes off to talk about the sages, whom he mentions used to tutor Princess Zelda. This is interesting. This is the first time they've ever talked about the sages actually doing anything quite like that. And this may explain some of her vast knowledge about magic and the knowledge of the Master Sword being in the Sacred Grove, for example. Aru says that it was the sages who actually first told him about the Mirror of Twilight. Apparently they really get around. Russell is gathering information at this time, so he doesn't have anything useful to contribute at the moment, but don't worry though, he'll play a pivotal role later on. You can check out the map when you're done messing around to see the location of Ashei, the warrior chick who is not present at the moment. This will also mark your map next to Zora's Domain, which is our next destination. And you can chat with Louise, who is Telma's cat, as well if you like. She will just meow at you. But you know, we actually cannot chat with her, and hear what she's saying, because we can't transform into a wolf. We can't enter Telma's bar as a wolf, and we can't transform once we're inside either. So, we will only be able to talk with her one last time throughout the story. And other than that, we will never be able to talk to her again. So, kind of interesting, you know, so you can chat with Louise if you want, have her meow at you. Next, you want to go ahead and warp on over to Zora's Domain and follow the flow of the water until you drop down and swim over to the land on your left. Assuming you're playing the Wii version, it'll be on your right if you're playing the GameCube version. Now, if you checked out the map in Telma's bar, you'll see a red mark that is on your minimap. Now, if you recall from earlier when we were here back in Chapter 8, there was actually a block of ice that was covering the entrance to Snowpeak that was there before. And now it's gone, so it's just disappeared. So I guess there was like a major heat wave while we were in Arbiter's grounds, because it's gone now, so allowing us to access the frozen tundras of Snowpeak. Now, either it was a heat wave, or these Zora guards outside got really bored and they started chipping away at it with their little staffs or whatever, their staves. Maybe they started making one of those beautiful, like, ice statues, you know, chipping away like they do with chainsaws and stuff. As soon as you enter, you'll see a short cinema showing off the area. We'll be able to tackle this later. You want to walk towards the form that is just ahead to initiate a short conversation with the Yeti figure, who pulls off her helmet to reveal that it's Ashei, however you pronounce it. Apparently she didn't get very far, because she's still here at the entrance. So she explains that the mountain has been even colder since Zora's Domain froze over, and that the Zoras have been seeing a large beast that normally lives on the mountain coming down into Zora's Domain frequently of late. Strange. It seems suspicious, so she went to go see for herself. Turns out that it's true, and she even managed to draw a hasty sketch of it, which she will then give to you. She goes on to say that the beast has been catching red fish from Zora's Domain, and that she tried following it up the mountain, but it was nearly impossible with the blizzard. So you will probably be unable to do anything about it at the moment as well. So she suggests that you turn around and go back the way you came, and you should come back once you have a plan. This is good advice, and we're going to have to do just that. You can scale Snowpeak if you want, but you will get lost, and then you'll just appear back at the entrance. Once you're back in Zora's Domain, you want to chat with any of the guards by setting Ashei's sketch to an item button, and then using the item on the guard. This will cause them to look at it, and then tell you where to go next. Now, a lot of past Zelda 3D titles, you've actually had to do this too with quest items. You don't really have to do it very often in Twilight Princess. For some reason, a lot of people find this part really confusing, but in particular, if you've played other Zelda titles, this is actually pretty obvious. This is what we're supposed to do. They're supposed to show them the item in this fashion. But anyways, they will exclaim that it does indeed look just like the beast, and curiously, it is holding a red fish in the picture. The only fish they know of that is like this is called a Reekfish, which is native to Zora's Domain. Unfortunately, these stinky little critters are nearly impossible to catch, and the only person they know of who has ever mastered the art is Prince Ralis. You want to run around the corner so they can't see you, then warp on over to Kakariko Village, where our quest to hunt down the beast will continue. Once you arrive in Kakariko Village, you can head over to the Elde Hotel, where we last saw Prince Ralis, but he has been up and walking around. If you chat with the children inside, they'll tell you that he's been at his father's grave nearly night and day, and they can't really do anything with him. So anyways, I'm skipping that step, and I'm just going to go straight to the graveyard, where we can find Prince Ralis. So you can go to the Elday Hotel if you want, and you can actually find the postman there as well. He's hiding in the back there, and has dropped a letter into the hot spring that is above the Elday Hotel, so he's all like, meh, because he's screwed up this letter. So you can go check that out if you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and go to the very back of the graveyard, crawl through the hole to get to the sacred grounds where the Zoras lay their dead to rest, and here we will be able to find Prince Ralis. You want to swim on over to the ledge and climb up to speak with Ralis, who explains that his mother has spoken to him in dreams, telling him of your deeds and how you have helped the Zoras, himself included. He asks you to let him know if there's anything he can do to help. Anything at all. Once he's done talking, you want to stand close and show him Ashei's sketch. He recognizes that beast man must be from the snowy mountain and everything, but he also knows that the red fish that it's holding must be one of those rare Reekfish that are found only in Zora's domain. He explains that they survive off a special coral that is only found there, and that if you don't use the coral as bait, you won't be able to catch the fish. That makes sense. He goes on to say that the earrings that he's wearing are actually made of the same coral, and that he wants you to have one. So Link then gets one of the coral earrings, which is an upgrade for our fishing pole, which will allow us to now catch Reekfish as well. Ralis goes on to say that the earrings were a gift from his mother, and that he no longer needs them. He knows that this is what she would have wanted, and that he will now be able to return to Zora's domain and take his rightful place as their ruler. So this is really good, because the Zoras are all, at a loss for what to do and hopelessly confused. So anyways, before you run off, he will tell you where to find the Reekfish, which are in the lower portion of Zora's domain near the Mother and Child rocks. The landmark is easy enough to find, and the fish are quite red, so they shouldn't be hard to miss at all, so it'll be pretty easy. The screen will then pan up, and we will regain control of Link once again, and that's all we can do here. So you want to warp over to Zora's domain. Unfortunately, we cannot do that with Ralis watching, so we're going to have to climb out and go to the other half of the graveyard before we can transform. Lame. Now, hey, just a real cool tidbit for you too. You can also find the postman in the throne room in Zora's domain. He has a letter for Mr. Zora, so he's confused because it's so vague, poor guy. So once you warp over there, you can check that out if you like as well. Once you exit, you want to transform into your Hylian form and hop off the waterfall. Now you should easily see the two stones off to your right, which is on the opposite side of the mark on your map, and they're called the Mother and Child rocks. Now it makes me wonder if this is supposed to be like kind of a connection to Mother and Child Isles, which is in the Wind Waker. Just a little thought for you. Anyways, you'll see that the fish are in the water as well. They're bright red. They should be easily for you to spot. You want to climb up onto the land and then use your fishing pole, which is now upgraded with the coral earring, which will allow us to catch the Reekfish. So now that we have that, they will act just like any other fish that you try and catch with the fishing pole, so they should be very easy for you. So they don't act any different, and you should be able to catch them. Now, the only difference between these guys, though, too, is that Link does not keep them. Like, he tosses... Like, normally if you catch a fish, then Link will drop the last fish he caught, and then he'll keep the one that he just caught just now. But this one is actually the opposite. He'll drop them every time, and he won't keep them. Apparently, just because they stink so much, he won't keep them. Link is disgusted. So you'll see that, once you catch it, and it flops around on the ground, and it's got like a stink cloud hovering over it. And so this is your clue that you want to transform into a wolf and memorize the stench. Yum. With this new scent in hand, we will finally be ready to tackle the blizzard on Snowpeak by following the correct path that the Beastman took, because he was carrying fish too, so we can follow the stench trail. So that's all the time I have for this video, dudes and dudettes. You want to join me for the next one? We will do just that. So I will see you guys then.